Can you beat Destroy All Humans with just the Death Ray? Now, before I start, I'll jump right into the rules that I must follow for this run of the game. My first rule is that out of the entire arsenal of weapons in this game, I can only use the Death Ray. If it's something classified as a gun that can shoot in this game, other than the Death Ray of course, I can't use it at all. So no Zap-O-Matic, no Disintegrator Ray, no Ion Detonator, and no Probe Gun. I'm also not going to be using the Sonic Boom or the Quantum Deconstructor for the Saucer, just purely Death Ray. My next rule is I will not be using any upgrades at all for this run. So we're going to just be using the base level of everything from start to finish. And my last rule is I'll try to get all missions to be 100%, so that also means that I have to do all of the bonus objectives, except for a few, which I will go over in further detail later on, because it has to involve using a gun that the bonus objective wants me to use. Now, for people who have played this game, or who know this game inside out, or that are watching this, I guarantee you've already guessed that I'm going to be using psychokinesis whenever I'm playing as Crypto. Speaking of psychokinesis and mind powers, I will allow all of Crypto's mind powers for this run. So killing people with brain extract and reading people's minds is okay for this run. Also the Abduct-O-Beam on the flying saucer as well, that's also okay to use. And that also means Transmog and Life Force Steal is okay for this run too, considering that they're not technically weapons, they're just basically me picking things up and throwing them, or using some sort of force that doesn't have to involve me using a weapon. With that all said, let's start the invasion. The year is 1959, a time period when Alaska and Hawaii became admitted to being states in the US, dog collars were worn as anklets as a fashion trend among teenage girls, and chickens exploding randomly on a German man's farm. But anyway, most importantly, the Cold War and the space race was happening, and we were greeted with some scientists and military personnel trying to launch a rocket into space. However, one of them spots a UFO flying above the rocket and tries to prevent the countdown, but everything blew up to Kingdom Come. A squad of army men goes and investigates the crash UFO, only to find an alien. The injured alien falls flat on its face and faints. We are then greeted with Invader Pox. Pox is later greeted with Crypto 137 and explains to him that he's a clone of his predecessor who just crashed earlier, and each clone is becoming more degraded in some sort of way.
That's bad, right?
Of course it's bad! I sent Crypto 136 in search of a planet we visited many eons ago. A planet seeded with pure Furon DNA. But I lost contact.
A cryptosporidium captured by a bunch of monkeys? We gotta go in. We gotta crack some craniums. We gotta rescue me. Him, he's gotta rescue me. I gotta... Brains, man, when do I get to blow things up?
I take your point. Prepare the mothership.
And just like that, the two head towards Earth to investigate what happened. We eventually make it to Earth with our first mission, safely landing down onto Turnip Seed Farm, getting ready for the invasion.
Now, Crypto, to ensure this invasion runs smoothly, it is imperative we identify the dominant life forms on this world. Those lactating bovoids are likely candidates.
After the cutscene, we finally get a feel of the game for once, and make our way to the cows and scan their brains. Another cutscene plays, and Crypto is giving them a speech that they'll be abducted for experimentation until one of them gives them a bowel disagreement.
Earth creature, I am addressing you. Respond or be vaporized. I don't care how many stomachs you have. I don't have time for this.
We then pick them up with psychokinesis and slam them into the ground, while of course getting the bonus objective here as well. After killing a bunch of cows, the farmer comes and sees us and he's ready to shoot on sight.
Martha, give me the shotgun!
Now this is where we're given our first gun in the game, but of course I didn't use it. I instead used a psychokinesis and broke all of his bones in his body and took his brain out. Another cutscene plays and the farmer's wife comes out and sees her dead husband with us, and come to find out that she's colorblind.
Little green spaceman!
I am not green.
After scaring the colorblind freak away, we head over to kill a bunch of farmhands over by the side of the farm by using psychokinesis. Then the authorities are called over by the colorblind freak and they all found our saucer. Funny how we just leave it just sitting there in plain sight. We then quickly head over to the chicken coop and grab a chicken and kill the colorblind freak with it, while also killing the cops with psychokinesis. Next, we run into our saucer and start firing away with our death ray all over the entire farmland. However, the army's taken a notice and they're making their way into the area and ready to shoot us down.
Open fire!
Crypto, I hereby give you official permission to destroy all humans!
He said the thing! After killing everything, we meet the Majestic agents.
Did you see what I saw?
You bet your sweet ass I did. What did you see?
Little green man in a flying saucer wiping out the best infantry unit in the U.S. Army.
Oh no, he's colorblind too. After all that, we get 100% completion on the mission and we move on to the next one. However, we're interrupted by Pox. He then gives us a backstory of why the Furons have to clone themselves, and the reason why is because they've become infertile. And he also states that humans apparently have an ancient strand of Furon DNA that will actually help them survive. So yeah, that's nice. At least we're not just invading the Earth just because we want to. We actually have a reason.
Welcome to my little laboratory. You may not have known this, but I flatter myself to be something of an inventor.
Since we're not using upgrades in this playthrough, we tell Pox we're on our Sigma male grind set and we make our way to our next mission. We're starting out mission 2 and we're at the fairground in Rockwell while Pox is giving us orders.
I want you to enter the fair. Find a malleable human and lead it back to your ship for questioning.
We then Holobob a stranger and make our way into the fairground.
What we need is the dumbest, weakest-willed, most malleable human we can find. Admittedly, the competition will be fierce.
Oh, I bet it will be a competition, alright. Eventually, we scan enough people and we find someone named Miss Rockwell. Next, Pox gives us a call and tells us to abduct her and bring her back to the mothership while Crypto disagrees with him.
And I think I've isolated the perfect subject for you to
Probe and vaporize?
abduct, not vaporize.
Okay, but humanity ain't gonna annihilate itself, all I'm saying.
Sorry, Crypto, we are more capable of doing that than you think.
The newly crowned Miss Rockwell looks like a prime candidate for testing. She's envied and desired by other humans. She's highly persuadable. Best of all, she apparently has a brain the size of a peanut. Hypnotize her and send her back to your ship for collection.
We then hypnotize her while disguised as the mayor for the bonus while we do that. Eventually, we lead her back to the saucer and abduct her. Unfortunately, the cops somehow know something's up, and we hop into our saucer and start destroying buildings with the Abduct-O-Beam for the bonus, while destroying everything else with the death ray, leaving the fairground in ruins. After that, the mission ends with 100%. On to mission 3, we arrive at Rockwell once again, and come to find out, human scientists have mutated the cows to glow green and explode on impact.
I want you to investigate this bizarre mutated species.
Pox then orders us to kill all the cows, scientists, and radioactive containers, while of course getting the bonus objective here while using psychokinesis. After that, apparently the mayor must have saw us destroying some of the cows and scientists, to where he's planning an emergency town hall meeting. So for my first attempt at disguising myself and trying to get to the town hall, I guess I was seen or heard on the way there and it made me fail the mission. But I went back where I left off and started to scan some of the people at the gathering for the other bonus objective. After that, I casted Distract on one of the cops behind the town hall so I can perform a very clutch Holobob on the mayor. And since I'm disguised as the mayor, I can now give my speech to everyone.
Greetings, fellow human agricultural engineers. There is nothing going on here. Everything is normal. Carry on with your pathetic human lives. That is all.
Now, wait just a cotton-picking minute. Mr. Mayor, I've lived in this town all my life, and I voted for you twice in the last election. Now, I'm entitled to a gall-darn answer. If they ain't nothing going on here, how come all my cows is glowing like lightning bugs? What you say to that, whippersnapper?
We plan to tell the farmer that glowing is normal.
That? Well, that's just the healthy inner glow that comes from chewing a cud of fresh green Rockwell grass. Why, I chew it myself all the time. Got some in my craw right now. Better than snuff.
And everyone brought it. After that, we then blame all the weird things people have been seeing on communism.
You want to know what's been going on around here? I'll tell you what's been going on around here. Communism, that's what. But I'm not willing to see the land our forefathers fought and died for fall under the boot of the creeping red menace. So the next time you see a strange light moving and changing direction at incredible speed in the night sky, you just think to yourself, no commie's gonna distract me from my patriotic duty with a couple of bottle rockets. No, sir.
Wait just a second. How in the world does any of that explain the destruction at the fair?
Next, we make some empty promises to the people like what most politicians would do.
Read my lips. I will not rest until we find the perpetrators of the fairground carnage and bring them to justice.
Now hold on. How come nobody in Santa Modesta's been seeing anything like this?
We tell everyone in the crowd that we're just better than everybody in Santa Modesta.
Because we're real Americans and they're not. Next. So, as you can see, there's nothing to trouble your puny human brains about.
The mayor's right. This was all just a random series of suspiciously coincidental yet easily rationalized events.
Suckers.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
After that speech, Pox tells us that one of the humans mentioned that another city of humans, which is Santa Modesta, and we plan on going there next. The mission ends with a 100% and we move onward. We make our way into Mission 4, and we land at Santa Modesta for the first time.
First up, I want you to find the alpha male of this town. Perhaps we can gain an insight into the way this whacked human social hierarchy functions.
I quickly holobob a stranger and get to scanning people in the neighborhood, and we learn that there's a pool party going on. We head into the pool party and we scan more people.
If this is a pool party, why isn't anyone actually in the pool?
You know, this lady has a good point. Anyway, we scan everybody else here, and Pox decides that the party is pathetic and we throw everybody in the pool. Now it's a pool party. After drowning and killing everybody, Pox calls us and decides to give us the disintegrator ray.
You'll need a new weapon to handle the Santa Modesta police force. So I'm unlocking your disintegrator ray. Try it out on the fuzz.
We of course don't use it for this run. After the call, we have to kill a bunch of cops and destroy some police cars. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda struggled a little bit when it came to destroying the cars here, considering that there really isn't that much explosives that I can pick up and just throw into the cars. So instead I had to either pick up a cop or a random object around to beat it against the car until it exploded, while getting mauled by like 15 cops shooting at me. I accidentally finished the mission by killing too many cops without destroying enough cars for the bonus, and I unfortunately got 90% on my first try. But I restarted the whole mission again and managed to destroy enough cars by playing it safe on my second attempt, and got 100% on the mission. Next up is Mission 5. We're greeted with a cutscene of us spying on some Majestic agents.
We're go for phase 1.
Our guys inside the station?
Just waiting for the word.
And the tape?
In the briefcase, all queued up.
Subliminal TV messages. What'll Majestic think of next?
Search me.
You know what a rhetorical question is?
Not a clue.
If our plan is to succeed, simply reading human minds will be insufficient. We must control them. To ease the harvesting of their brainstems, grease the wheels, so to speak.
We then follow the agents while trying to destroy it with explosives on the way for the bonus objective. Eventually they both get out of the car and I use psychokinesis to kill the guy with the briefcase and start running towards the TV station. We get to the TV station and we find a man named Sleepy Ernst. Pretty accurate name. We scan his brain and he's trying to brainwash people for propaganda. Pox says no to this and we pick him up and drown him.
Experimental guinea pigs.
We drowned him, okay? The game said we drowned. Anyway, we blow up his car and return to the neighborhood. Next, we have to bend all of the TV attendants towards the mothership so Pox can brainwash everybody. I eventually get through all the attendants without touching the ground for the bonus, and Pox tries to brainwash everybody, but apparently the signal is too strong, and everyone's head starts to explode. After the cutscene, we get a nice 100% for the mission. Ahead of us is Mission 6. There's actually not much to this mission. All we're doing is gathering brains from the last mission, and that's actually just really it. We're running around Santa Modesta just gathering brains from people. However, we do get the anal probe gun, and the game wants us to use it for the bonus objective. Since we can't use it for this run, we just have to ignore the bonus for this mission, unfortunately. We finished the mission with a 90%. Hey, if the game had a different bonus objective, we would have gotten a 100% for this mission. It is what it is. Going into mission 7, we arrive at Santa Modesta once again.
Crypto, you're going to investigate the activities of the human scientists. I want to establish their connection with the Majestic.
We holobob a stranger and get into scanning scientists. We find out that scientists are putting drugs in the food tier to make everyone more paranoid. We then go to the saucer and start blasting everything with the death ray. After all that, a cutscene plays with 2 Majestic agents saying that the army's coming into the town with some military assets.
There's an army convoy right outside this town with tanks. Thank God! Thank Majestic. Silhouette got the army to do something right for once. Take some cars and go get them.
Try and stop me.
After the cutscene, we are tasked destroying ice cream cars with scientists in it and destroying military assets. We do all of that with no sweat, and Pox tells us that it's time to finally abduct the agent for questioning.
I say it's high time we abducted one of these men in really dark brown.
Nice cover up. We grab an agent and run back to the saucer with him for interrogation.
What do you know about a downed Furon scout ship? A what? Sorry, let me put it in baby talk. A flying saucer, crashed somewhere or captured. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you know about Majestic? I know we're gonna kick your little green ass all the way back to Mars.
Crypto gets angry that out of all the agents that he took from the town, just so happens to be another colorblind freak and gets evil with him.
Don't get mad, get sadistic. I think this calls for the Jumbo probe. Mind control experiment. Rockwell movies. Furon DNA. Area 42R.
Prepare to return to the mothership, Crypto. We're going back to Rockwell for the last time.
We then get a nice fat 100% on our screen and we move on. Now on to mission 8. A cutscene plays and we're shown 2 teenagers complaining about their lives.
It's tearing me apart!
Until a Majestic agent shows up out of nowhere to give them some propaganda. Then we finally see who this silhouette person is and they both drive off. Next we head to the drive-in and kill all the agents guarding the drive-in, and decide to play a movie to hypnotize the entire audience. Next we have to defend the projector while have to kill a cop with an agent and vice versa. This mission wasn't really all that hard. All I did was just throw a bunch of people up in the air while getting both of the bonuses, of course, getting 100% on the mission. Going into mission 9, we fly back into Santa Modesta, getting the ion detonator, which is our new weapon.
I'm letting you off the leash, Crypto. The time has come to escalate this little war against the Majestic. You will definitely be needing a more powerful weapon.
We of course don't use it. We need to kill a bunch of humans, destroy a bunch of vehicles, and destroy a car with a human. I start off getting the bonus right off the bat. However, destroying the vehicles was very time consuming, considering that all I had to use to destroy them was either with objects or people that were just lying around. Eventually, after doing just that, we need to destroy $20,000 worth of Majestic assets. Unfortunately, we can't do the bonus here since it wants us to use the new weapon. We do this with no problem and head into our saucer next. We do get the sonic boom, but we won't use it of course, and we have to destroy some more assets. We first do the bonus by slamming an agent into one of the buildings with the Abduct-O-Beam, and then we laser everything else with the death ray. After all that, we get a 90% for the mission. Next up is mission 10. Crypto and Pox plan on brainwashing the whole country with television.
If we can harness the massive power of television,
We could brainwash the whole country.
all we require is a suitable guise, a persona the humans will trust. A human television presenter called Bert Wither. But he's made himself scarce. Perhaps he got wind of what you did to Sleepy Ernst.
Next, we meet the only passive human who is not scared of us in this entire game, and he decides to help us.
You want Bert Wither? You got him. Follow me.
Perfect.
We do the bonus here immediately, considering that it's super easy. All we just gotta do is just scan him. After following the cracked pot, he then tells us that this cook at this diner could lead us to this fortified base where Withers is located at.
Hey, the cook at this diner takes food to Bert Wither. He's the only one who gets past the force field and the guards.
We force the cook to make a run to the fortified base, and our bonus here is to not get detected by any means necessary. That's until I accidentally canceled my Holobob right in front of a bunch of guards like an idiot, and they started chasing me. I paused the game getting ready to restart the mission, but I realized that the game didn't say I failed the bonus just yet. So I unpaused it, and then I immediately started casting Forget and Distract on the guards. And this lady that was behind me too. I jump onto this building and I keep casting Distract while they were throwing explosives at me. Actually, let's face it, I'm gonna have to restart this mission.
It's like he's invisible.
Or I guess not. After that whole fiasco, I make it to the base undetected and I reach Burt Withers.
I'll do anything you say, I swear.
You bet your ass you will. Come on, birdie boy.
Unfortunately, some Majestic agents come into the building and they know what's up. We force Withers to follow us to escape the base while blowing up a bunch of soldiers with explosives for the bonus here. We eventually make it out safe and sound, and we get 100 for the mission. With Mission 11 around the corner, Burt Withers is making a broadcast at the TV station about propaganda about the Furons and the Majestic. However, we need to protect the TV station with our life against the army in this level. The bonus here is not too hard to get here. We just need to kill some soldiers with explosive barrels, and we hold out until the timer goes down. However, we get a cutscene that they're bringing in tanks in their next wave of attack. Now this attack wave was a little difficult, mainly because there wasn't a lot of explosive barrels in the area to use on the tanks. The rockets from the rocket soldiers helped a little, but they weren't as good as barrels. Speaking of rockets, the bonus in this level is to kill 2 soldiers with some rockets, which we do with no sweat. Other than that, we just throw a bunch of soldiers in the air and try to clear the TV station. The timer goes down, and next we get a cutscene with some giant robots ready to rush at us. The 2 robots run to a tower, lobbing grenades at them. I went to the one that was going to Tower 1, and I managed to destroy him with the cost of losing some of the tower's health. However, the robot at Tower 2 must have shot some grenades close to itself and some soldiers nearby and killed themselves. And apparently I got the bonus objective for it, even though I wasn't the one to kill those soldiers. Thanks, buddy. After that, we witness one of the soldiers blow himself up and running up the hill.
Tragically, these gentle, intelligent creatures are being sent.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna lose this all because of how much of a terrible start I had at this attack wave and how stressful this level was, considering that all I'm using is psychokinesis. However, we do pull through and I get a well-deserved 100%. Next up is Mission 12. We arrive at Area 42 for the first time.
Now we should be able to discover what happened to Crypto 136. My scans have identified several radioactive areas in your vicinity, but there is one in particular that looks like it could be a crash site.
We go to the crash site and collect some saucer parts that are scattered all over the place. After that, we go to the military base and start extracting brains for the bonus and start scanning brains. We learn that Crypto 136 is being held at the Majestic base, and we start to make our way over there. We make it to the base and find out that 136 died and he's been laid flat on an autopsy table. Learning this, 137 has become furious.
Okay, monkeys. You want a war? You've got a war.
Next, we destroy everything in the base and kill a bunch of humans for the bonus, with all doing this with just psychokinesis. And we make a run to the saucer and back to the mothership. And with all this, we get 100% for the mission. On to Mission 13. We're back at Area 42, and we find out that the humans now have mental abilities.
They successfully unlock the dormant psychic ability hidden deep in their primitive brains due to a dash of Furon DNA.
We holobob a stranger who's taken a leak, and we go to the Majestic base without alerting anyone for the bonus. We get into the elevator and Crypto finds out what elevator music is. After that, we make it into the basement and we find mutants using psychic abilities. We're tasked to kill the mutants and we have to destroy the lab here. I'm not gonna lie, the mutants are actually the most dangerous enemy in this playthrough that I'm doing. The main reason why is because we can't pick them up like regular humans, and they also have a ton of health. So I had to rely on using objects to kill them, which took a little bit to kill. Also, in the middle of me killing all the mutants, I trashed the lab for the bonus here. And after that, we use the elevator to get out of the lab. And we also learn that Crypto hates elevator music. Now I know he used the Zap-O-Matic in this cutscene, but I'm not going to count it considering that I had no control over him since it's a cutscene. After that, we head out and destroy some Tesla coils with some very conveniently placed radioactive cows near them. Next, we head into our saucer and start lighting the whole majestic base up with the death ray. We can't do the bonus here unfortunately since it wants us to use the sonic boom, so we're just gonna have to ignore it. After we destroy the entire base, the mission is complete and we get a 90%. Next up is actually a mission that's only exclusive to the remake of this game. Anyway, we arrive at Area 42 once again.
It's time to cripple their military forces. I want you to infiltrate the main base and find out what the warlords are planning.
We holobob a stranger and get inside the base undetected. We then scan some officers and find out that the Air Force warlord is holding a small meeting with some majestic agents at the central part of this base. We climb on some boxes to get on the roof and start eavesdropping on their conversation.
Isn't ready yet. The X-13 was working just fine in the trials last week.
There have been a few, hiccups.
General.
You don't need to go to Sector 13. The test flight will go ahead as planned.
What? A second ago you said the X-13 wouldn't fly.
I said it wasn't ready, but it will be. Trust us. We're the government.
After some eavesdropping, we scan General Higgs and we have to kill all of the scientists that are in charge of the aircraft that they're working on. However, we need to kill all of them in a specific way to get all of the bonus objectives here. We first cause a barbecue accident. Next, we drop a crate onto a scientist. Lastly, we make a scientist run into a minefield. After killing all of the scientists here, we have to get the military's attention. By doing this, we just went to the central part of the base, and all we did was just throw a bunch of soldiers in the air and extracted their brains to fill the bar that's here. After getting their attention, we then head to the hangar where the aircraft is located and we sabotage everything. Once we sabotage everything, a cutscene plays and we run out of the hangar, and the majestic agents from earlier get a call from Silhouette.
We've had a breach.
Our little gray visitor?
Looks that way.
Which means you didn't catch it. The second it sets foot on base, I want it captured. And don't tell Armquist. We don't need any more help from the military. Call me when you've got it.
After the cutscene, we complete the mission and get 100%. Next up is Mission 14. We're given a cutscene where General Higgins is showing the aircraft that we sabotaged in the last mission to General Armquist.
General Armquist, good of you to come. Thought you might be too busy running damage control out in California.
Never too busy to watch the Air Force fall flat on its face, Jack.
Corporal Patterson, let's show our guests what this bottle rocket can do. Vertical takeoff and landing! How do you like them apples?
That's it? That's your ultimate weapon?
After the cutscene, we land and Pox gives us our orders.
We'll crush their pitiful air defense forces and destroy Armquist once and for all.
We holobob a stranger and head to the firing range. Next, we hypnotize a soldier to drive in a truck with a nuke on the back of it, and we have to escort and protect him while we make our way to the airfield. Now, before I get any further what I have to do in this game, I just want to bring up that all of the soldiers in this level shoot at the nuke that you're trying to move to the airfield. You would think that these soldiers would have training to not do something like this, considering that it's their own bomb crying for out loud. It's so ironic actually. I'm the alien here, and I'm trying to destroy them. But really, I'm actually just trying to protect them for this small portion of the mission, of course, so I don't have to go out with them as well. All these soldiers are just suicidal enough to take everyone out in Area 42, I guess. Like, anyway, we run into some radioactive cows on the road and kill some soldiers with the cows for the bonus here, while moving the cows out of the way. Next, we have to move some rocks out of the way while killing some soldiers with said rocks for the bonus here. Lastly, we arrive at a minefield and we kill some soldiers with mines for the bonus here while moving them out of the way. After dealing with a bunch of suicidal maniacs, we barely have any health on the nuke. We get to the base and open the gate and we protect the nuke with our dear life while it's on its way to the airfield. We arrive at the airfield with just a tiny bit of the nuke's health and activate it. When we activate the nuke, the humans now want to take safety into account and try to send scientists to defuse the nuke while we wait for the countdown. We get the bonus here, and once we get low enough on the countdown, we make a mad dash to our saucer and the Area 42 explodes. Next, we get a cutscene with General Armquist and Silhouette.
Armquist, you want to explain to me why our troops are abandoning Area 42?
They're not leaving, they're regrouping. Everything's under control. That explosion was meant to take me out. Maybe you don't get the mindset we're up against.
No, Careful, General. I'm taking you very seriously. The President should hear this. Get back to Capital City.
And after that, we get 100% on the mission. Up ahead of us is Mission 15. We arrive at Santa Modesta for the final time for the story in this game.
Crypto, I need data on the structural integrity of the local architecture. I'm activating our latest F-800 drones to scan these hegemonic edifices.
Nothing much happened here. All we do is protect the drone that is scanning buildings, and we destroy a gun turret for the bonus here. After a little bit of scanning, we move to another area and we destroy a SAM turret for the bonus while protecting the drone with psychokinesis. After scanning all the buildings, we go into our saucer and we are shown that the army is sending all they got to us. We do get the quantum deconstructor in this level, but we put it away and use the death ray instead. We destroy a bunch of gun turrets for the bonus here and start lighting up Santa Modesta up with the death ray. After eviscerating Santa Modesta to the ground, we get a 100% for the mission. With Mission 16 up ahead, we get a cutscene where Crypto's flying his saucer and is struck down by a Tesla coil.
Curse you, pathetic humans!
We wake up in a cage with none of our equipment. However, we escape with ease considering that we have mind powers. We hack the terminal and Holobob the scientist that's in front of the cage, and cast Distract on one of the Majestic agents to make a smooth escape. Then we go over to the side of the warehouse and farm a bunch of human disguises for the bonus here. Next, we locate our weapons, however they don't work because some of our weapon parts are missing.
Little green men! Not again! Colorblind morons! Die, pea brain! Hey, where's the... What did you do with my clip, monkey boy?
And we're forced to stick with our mind powers, even though I technically have been doing this for the whole playthrough anyway, so it's not really anything new.
I guess I'll just have to settle for ripping your limbs off one by one with my bare hands until I find it. With my bare hands.
We find our weapon parts and we start scanning some workers for hints while we get our jetpack back. After scanning all the workers, we learn that our saucer is on a nearby island, but in order to get onto the island, we have to ride a marine barge by telling the human here the password that we learned from scanning the other workers.
Marilyn, will you take me to the island now?
On our way to the island, we hypnotize a worker to release our saucer, but come to find out that our saucer can't take off and we need to retrieve the power cells. We head over to the ship that's nearby and grab a bunch of Majestic agents and drown them in the water for the bonus here, and collect all the power cells in the area too. Lastly, we start to laser everything with our death ray, and after destroying everything, we get a 100% for the mission. Next up is Mission 17. We arrive at Capital City for the first time.
How curious! I was tracking Armquist in hopes of discovering his secret base. But instead he came here, to a civilian facility known as the White House, to meet with his leader, the President.
We holobob a stranger and go scan some scientists who just had a conversation with the president. After some scanning, we learn one of them knows about Armquest, and we follow one of them and holobob them. Next, we make our way to the Octagon and tell the soldier at the gate the password that we learned from scanning one of the scientists from earlier. We also get the bonus objective here thanks to us not being detected on the way to the Octagon. We go up to a vantage point and eavesdrop on Armquest and Silhouette.
Don't worry, General. You'll still be in command of our military forces. That much I've decided. This new threat, however, demands a radical new concept of national defense. The time has come to unite our 5 defense branches under a single chain of command.
5 branches?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Majestic, of course. It's the start of a whole new era, General. And the President would like you to deliver the good news.
After the cutscene, we have to make a mad dash to our saucer because apparently it's been found. On the way to the saucer, we grab a bunch of explosives on this bridge and start blowing up soldiers for the bonus here. When we get to the saucer, we throw all the humans in the air with psychokinesis and kill some of the mutants with some objects. And we leave and we get 100% for the mission. On to Mission 18. We land at Union Town.
Crypto! The warlord Armquist is heading to a meeting with the other human warmongers. His orders are to unite them against us.
No biggie, I'll just take him out.
He just appeared. We follow ArmQuest while destroying some antennas around these buildings for the bonus here. When we follow him for long enough, we get a cutscene that he's holding a meeting with the other generals in a warehouse. We holobob a soldier and find the Marine general and cast follow on him. We lure him to the back of the warehouse and then we holobob him, and then we attend the meeting.
The evidence is overwhelming. First, communist spies infiltrated a small country fair in the American heartland and kidnapped the winner of the beauty pageant, violating her corn-fed virtue in God only knows what unspeakable ways. When they were done with her, they destroyed the whole fairground. Civilian casualties were tragically high.
We tell the group that kids are the problem for starting the fire at the fair from earlier in the game.
Aren't you jumping the gun here, Armquist? That fire might have just been set by rowdy teenagers. I did as much or worse back in my day. Kids will be kids.
He's right, General. Kids today may lack discipline, but they're not communists. I think you're making too much of all this.
Last, a communist agent used an experimental nuclear explosive device in a direct attempt to assassinate me at Area 42.
Next, we question if they caught the assassin at Area 42.
I don't suppose you managed to catch this so-called assassin, General, or are we just supposed to take all this on faith?
Sorry, General, but you'll have to do better than that if you want my support. I don't know who the hell you are, General, but you got a big mouth. Son of a... You! How did you do that? Come and get me, you commie piece of crap!
Next, we spawn in a room with some soldiers and throw them around with psychokinesis and kill all of them in like 4 seconds. Next, we get a cutscene where Crypto is shooting the disintegrator ray at the guards. Now, I know he shot his gun here, but I'm not going to count it considering that it's a cutscene and I had no control over him. And besides, what the heck is he even shooting at? We already killed them with psychokinesis.
You dirty rats! You're the rats who killed my Huh? Your way's not very sportsmanlike.
You can run, you little freak, but you can't hide.
Who's hiding? Let's get funky.
Now, this is the first boss fight in the game, and to be fair, it's not even that hard if you play it safe here. Even though I am using psychokinesis and no upgrades here at all, the main thing with this fight is that I had to be patient. And the reason why is because there isn't a whole lot of things to pick up here with psychokinesis, and every so often, ArmQuest would request soldiers to come in and fight with them in the arena. But I would just lob the soldiers at him if there wasn't a whole lot of like objects to use around the area. The real important thing that I had to do in this fight was to keep moving at all costs because there's literally bullets and missiles like everywhere in this fight. And speaking of missiles, I was able to pick them up and fire them back at them, which helped a bit for this fight. We get into his second phase and now he shoots motors in the air coming down onto us, and he's a little more aggressive with his machine gun and missiles. I did almost die in this fight a couple times, but thankfully there was a boat statue here for me to hide behind. I just kept throwing his own missiles and soldiers back at him with psychokinesis until he went to phase 3. Now, ironically, phase 3 was the easiest part of this fight, and the reason why is because phase 3 of this fight is just him with bigger motors and more aggression when it comes to firepower. Now, this is a danger to me, but it's also a danger to him as well. I didn't know this, but if you hover over ArmQuest in his third form, he would just blow himself up with his own motors. Surprisingly, this fight only took me about 12 to 13 minutes to finish, even though considering that I didn't even use a weapon at all. But I feel like if I did use a weapon, it'd probably take maybe at most 6 minutes, without upgrades.
It didn't have to be this way, Armquist.
What do you mean?
I mean, this ridiculous war. We could have worked together, you and I, to forge a new future, a common future of peace and prosperity for our two peoples.
Really?
Psych. Pathetic human.
Again, I'm not going to count him using the gun here either, even though he did technically just brutally murder ArmQuest. It was a cutscene, I wasn't able to have control over him. I'm just not going to count him. After all that, we get a 100... Oh my god, I made a terrible error. Great. We're gonna be here for another while. I restarted the whole mission again and make sure to get both of the bonuses here, like first thing immediately. I get to the second phase of the fight until this happened. Oh nice, he can still hurt himself in this phase, it's just not as much because he's not blowing everything up.
Hey bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
Oh my god, what? Oh, what? You left the mission area? Oh my god, I have to go back on phase 1 of this freaking thing. That's dumb. Thankfully, I only had to restart the fight here and made sure I got the bonus here again and managed to kill Armquest with a 100% finally. On to mission 19. We arrive at Capital City.
This president must be more integral to their social order than I suspected. I have noticed a significant increase in activity in front of the White House.
We holobob a stranger and follow these black vans to see where the president is holding his press conference. After following the vans for long enough, we get ambushed and we have to kill everybody here with psychokinesis. We do just that while drowning a bunch of soldiers for the bonus here, and we make our way to where the actual press conference is. Once we make our way to the press conference, we impeach the president by throwing an explosive at him. After assassinating the president, we make a run for our saucer and come to find out a bunch of humans found it and are rigging it up to explode. Now that I think about it, how many times has our saucer been found in the open like this? Anyway, we destroy all of the explosives and humans here and return to the mothership and get a 100%. Next up is Mission 20. We land at Capital City again, and the main objective is to kill a bunch of senators. And that's really it for this mission, not gonna lie. We first kill some senators that are on their break. Next we have to kill some senators that are returning to the Capitol, while getting the bonus here. After that we have to defend the Capitol from letting any senators to go in and vote for the next president. We also get the bonus here as well by blowing up senators with conveniently placed explosives that are just near the White House for whatever reason, cause that's not weird at all. This mission wasn't that difficult all that weirdly enough. One senator did get in, but we get a mission pass and 100% at the end. Next is Mission 21. We arrive at Capital City again.
These Tesla coils are cheap, shoddy versions of the ones you met in Area 42. And you, my impulsive friend, are to destroy every Tesla coil unit in town.
We start by taking out all the Tesla coils on foot while grabbing scientists with psychokinesis and electrocuting them with the coils for the bonus here. After taking out all the Tesla coils on foot, we head to our saucer and take out more Tesla coils. Jeez, this is just like the last mission, but instead of senators, it's Tesla coils, I guess. There's not actually really a lot to this mission. Actually, it's just us taking out Tesla coils. Anyway, we laser down the Tesla coils with the death ray, along with the inventors as well, and we pass and get 100% for the mission. We finally make it to the last mission in the game. We land at Capital City.
Here you stand at the seat of all human power, and they're turning over the keys to the whole planet! Our victory is complete!
We run over to the Capitol and meet Silhouette, who come to find out is not colorblind like the rest of the humans in this game.
Silhouette, I presume. You don't look like a general.
You don't look like a little green man.
Thank you.
Crypto discusses the defeat of the human race, but Silhouette touches a nerve in Crypto that they shouldn't have brought up.
That sense of humor. Just like your...
Like my what?
File. Your dossier, Crypto, said you were quite the joker.
I think I never told you my name.
No, I suppose I have your brother to thank for that.
The two fight for a bit and we find out who Silhouette really is.
You're a chick?
I'm a patriot. If you had to put up with politicians playing grab-ass all day long, you'd wear a mask too.
Next, the earth trembles for a bit after their little fight.
What's that?
That, my gender-deprived friend, is Plan B. The end of your insidious invasion. A champion even you can't defeat. The greatest political mind of the 20th century in the greatest weapon ever built by man. Behold, the Robo-Prez!
If Elected, I promise to destroy all Furons!
That is seriously messed up.
We make a mad dash to our saucer while dodging these missile strikes. Once we make it into our saucer, we start lasering Robo-Prez with our death ray. The bonus here is not that hard. All we have to do is just hit him in the chest where his laser comes out, and we're pretty much set for the bonus here. Robo-Prez has these explosive balloons around him, and if you get too close to them, they'll follow you and explode. He also shoots lasers and missiles as well. Also, whenever I needed health for my saucer in this fight, there was always a conveniently placed car or mech that was shooting down from below that I could just lifesteal and get back into the fight. We eventually bring Robo-Prez down in his first phase, and he goes into his second phase. Now, Robo-Prez during this playthrough was surprisingly not that hard of a boss fight. I personally thought Armquest was slightly harder in this playthrough than what I'm currently doing right now. Now, let's be honest, it's probably most likely because I'm inside of a flying vehicle versus me actually being on foot trying to fight something. But Robo-Prez doesn't really change up the fight like at all in each phase you go through with him. It's just that each phase of his fight, he just gets more and more aggressive with his firepower. There's really nothing else to it, actually. All I did was just laser him, get health from the ground from the mechs or the cars from below, and just rinse and repeat. That's really it. That's all to it. And you have to keep in mind, I'm also doing this with with nothing upgraded at all. When we get into his third form, there's just a lot more firepower he throws at us, and nothing really new here. This fight wasn't that hard, surprisingly, even without upgrades. After we bring Robo-Prez down, we get a cutscene with Pox and Crypto concerning the whereabouts of Silhouette.
In any case, she ran from the capital. I lost sight of him. Her! Silhouette! Near the—
Attention, Furons! Attention, Furons! Is this thing on? Oh, whatever. I know you little gray freaks can hear this. I'm sure you're out there listening, gloating.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, how is Silhouette even contacting us from the mothership? I know she's a part of a secret government agency and everything, but how is she able to intercept our call with this kind of like alien technology that the Furons have? That's what I like to know.
Credit where credit is due. You did it. You beat my beautiful Robo-Prez. And now you're probably sitting around fantasizing about destroying all the humans. There's still plenty of time to get your asses handed to you. That is, if you're not too scared to fight a girl. I'm at the Octagon. Don't keep me waiting.
Anyway, after the cutscene, we leave the saucer, and this will be actually the last time we'll be using our saucer in the death ray in the game from this point on. We have to carry on with the game with just psychokinesis now. We head to the Octagon, and we meet Silhouette, and we begin our fight. And oh boy, this was a long fight, alright. Let me just explain how Silhouette's fighting patterns are before I get into what I had to deal with first. First, she shoots her laser pistols everywhere like a Fortnite player that doesn't know how to aim. Sometimes, she'll fly up in the air and shoot this purple charged laser that will belittle your health down to just barely anything, even when you're behind cover sometimes. This attack, however, doesn't kill you though, which is a good thing. And eventually, she'll do this spin attack where she shoots everywhere. However, every time she does a spin attack, Robo-Prez shoots a gigantic laser all over the Octagon afterwards. That pretty much kills everything really fast if you stay in it for a short while. After Robo-Prez's laser, some majestic agents spawn into the battlefield and help Silhouette to kill me in the fight. I like to note this is all she does in her first fight. This is just the beginning. So I know what you're thinking, right? How in the world are we going to kill Silhouette without any of our guns and with just psychokinesis and no upgrades? Now we could just grab a bunch of stuff off the ground and throw it at her, but there is an easier way to do this in this fight. We wait for Silhouette to do her spin attack and for Robo-Prez to shoot his laser all over the Octagon. So when Robo-Prez shoots his laser, Silhouette runs into cover. But if we run into cover with her, like right next to her, she will run away and move to another spot when Robo-Prez is still shooting his laser. And since she's leaving her spot, that's causing damage to her shield. When this happens, we grab one of the majestic agents that spawns every time the laser gets shot, and we throw them at Silhouette, causing her to lose some health. And oh boy, we were here for a while trying to make her go into phase 2. Now, one thing that I want to add about this fight that made it super difficult without even me even realizing it was that every time when you kill a majestic agent that spawns every so often after the laser that gets shot, their dead bodies won't actually stay there forever in the battlefield. They will eventually disappear, which is problematic because they're my only source of infinite ammo when it comes to beating Silhouette. I also want to add that I sent Silhouette flying when I threw her own agents at her sometimes.
There you go.
Whoa! Oh my god! Where's she? Okay, no, she's just doing that.
Put me down. Nobody ever won.
She's still in the air. What the heck? Nice, we hit her. There you go. Whoa. I almost died in this fight so many times, I don't even remember how many close calls I had during this session. Anyway, we get into her second phase, and she now has this laser purple blade that can really do a lot of damage to us, considering that we have no upgrades at all. We also get more majestic agents that spawn when the laser is shot from RoboPrez, which is not a terrible thing, other than the fact that one of the majestic agents has an energy assault rifle that can really mess us up here, so we have to be very careful approaching them. We just play it very safe here and belittle her health here with patience. We're about 30 minutes into the fight. And yes, you heard me right, 30 minutes into the fight, and we're in her final phase of the fight, finally. Silhouette can now throw a ton of landmines on the ground and could possibly one-tap us if we're not careful here. And along with that, when RoboPrez shoots his laser, a mutant now spawns with the majestic agents. Which is actually a bad thing because we can't pick up mutants with psychokinesis, and killing him would cost us time and focus on Silhouette, so I try to ignore the mutants that spawn here as much as possible. We again play it really safe here and belittle her health with all of this chaos that's going on. So far, this was the hardest part of this challenge of this playthrough. We had to wait and attack Silhouette when given the right time when her shield was low from the laser, and having no upgrades and only using psychokinesis to throw objects and human corpses as ammo was really a hassle to get around this fight. We're about 50 minutes into the fight and I deliver the final blow by throwing a mutant at her. After the 50-minute fight, we get a cutscene.
You beat me. I can't believe you actually beat me.
I can't believe it either, considering that I didn't use any of my guns on you.
Struggle's over, babe. Furons won, humans zipperoonie.
You think you won? You think America is the only human civilization on Earth? Smug little insect. There are 3 billion people on this planet.
You know, if I was Silhouette in this situation, I wouldn't give a hostile space alien information on how many people are on the planet. Just saying. You're giving him ideas to invade other places, that's why. Silhouette dies and Crypto gives a speech.
Attention, humans. I am Cryptosporidium of the planet Furon. This planet is now a territory of the Furon Empire.
Then he Isaac Clarke stomps Silhouette in the face.
Resist this.
And we're given 100% on the mission. Next, we get a cutscene where the president is giving a speech that aliens aren't real, but all of the weird stuff that's been happening is because of communism.
The truth is, America has been attacked. Not by little green men, but red. And our invaders are most definitely of this earth. However, the price is dear, unaware of the lingering toxic pollutants in their minds. To combat this lingering menace, we have set up testing centers across the nation, at shopping malls, local schools, even churches.
These testing centers are really just ways to get the humans to passively give Pox and Crypto their DNA and to be mind controlled by them. Then we see the president is not really the president.
Like shooting monkeys in a barrel.
Then we get a man behind a TV telling us that nothing is wrong.
The threat of alien invasion proved a false alarm. Perhaps the lesson is that we should turn our gaze inward, remembering that man's worst enemy is often himself.
Then we get the credits. So that's that. Can you beat this game with only shooting the death ray? The answer is yes. First, I went to the menu and went to go check all the missions that I 100% all of them, with the exception of mission 6, 9, and 13. Next, I checked all my upgrades and everything is at base level. And I finally checked all my stats, and the only thing that I fired in this playthrough was only the death ray. Now, I kind of want to touch why I made exceptions for 100%ing missions 6, 9, and 13. And the reason why is because all those missions had to make you use a weapon that went against this challenge. I wanted to complete all the missions as much as possible with all the bonuses in check, and the main reason why is because I feel like if I were to ignore all the bonuses in this run, it really wouldn't feel much of a challenge to do this playthrough. I know some of you are probably going to make the argument that, like, why am I even going to make 100%ing all the missions a rule in the first place? But I think not including all the bonuses in this run would make this game slightly more of a stroll in the park. I mean, when I was killing ArmQuest and doing Mission 4, I had to redo those missions to make sure I did everything to make this run more interesting. Besides, some bonuses are easier to get with some of the weapons than just using psychokinesis. Like, when I had to destroy those cop cars in Mission 4, it would have been easier to destroy them with a gun, but I decided to use objects because I'm a freaking masochist. So yeah, you could beat this game with only firing the death ray, but you can't technically beat every mission 100%. Also, if you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you. I know I sound like a boring college professor that never shuts up and probably gives you homework every day as soon as you walk into class, but seriously, thank you. The challenge was really fun and interesting, and since this video is going to be released about a week before the Destroy Humans 2 remake, I might do another challenge on that game when the time comes. This is also my first time making a video in terms of making a challenge run, so I know there might be some hiccups or errors with the editing possibly. Also, I just want to let you know that I streamed this entire playthrough on my channel, so if you want to see all of the raw footage that you probably saw in this video, I'll link all my streams in the description. But I'm down to make another one of these videos, to be fair. I'm thinking about maybe doing a Starbound challenge run next. I don't know when, but I'm willing to do it though. With all that said, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.